Hello beautiful and lovely gamers, my name is Jon. This is the part 3 of the communication guides. Part 1 and part 2 is highly recommended to watch. They are quite long, like 12 and 17 minutes or something, whatever. Link down in the description, you can just put them at double speed. But I highly recommend you watch that if you are even remotely close to wanting to understand how a good communication system is built up. Now this will be my third one, and I'll try to keep this a little bit shorter, so we will only be focusing really on what I like to call one-way, or like it's a two-way communication, but it's not a team-based communication, which is essentially the stronger way to coordinate stuff, right? Because that's the point of our comms. We want to dive at the same time. We want to use our ultimate in a certain order with certain players, so not everyone does it. We want people to move in the same area and engage at the same time and back off at the same time and do the exact same thing. And here we have these, well, what can I say? There's more precision calls, essentially talking, conversation in between just two players. Of course, the entire team can hear this conversation going on, but these are not for everyone. So, for example, I will use the example that my Reinhardt, he is saying, I'm low, I'm low, I'm low. For that, that can mean a lot for our team, depending on the situation. But that also, you know, he can say, I'm low, I'm backing, right? That way we understand, okay, cool. My Reinhardt is backing off, so the supports are like, okay, he's backing off. My tanks, everyone knows that he's low and he might die. The fact that our Reinhardt might die can do a lot of things. Our Genji might be like, okay, I need to do something, so I need to really hard engage now. I really need to make sure that we don't stagger, make sure that we don't mess anything, and maybe I can get a couple of kills, so if I go in, then I can do that. Or sorry, I might think, okay, I'm not going to bubble the Ryan, because he's going to die anyway, so I'm going to bubble the Genji, so he can maybe get a couple of kills, get some ult charge, right, and we're all going to do that. Or people might be like, okay, the Ryan is dying, so this might be a good time not to commit with any ultimates, just let him die and just reset. However, if there is a one-line communication in between someone like, you know, the support line, for example, the Ryan says, I'm dying, and then you hear your Ana or your Mercy or your Moira, whatever, saying, I'm pocketing you, right? Then all of a sudden, everyone knows, okay, our Ryan is gonna most likely survive, or might survive. Sorry, I might think, okay, I should bubble my Reinhardt to keep him alive, to at least hope, because all of a sudden, there are comms that healing will come, on top of the fact that the Ryan knows, don't do anything stupid. Don't just like try to deal, like drop your shield to first sling and the fire strike to build more ult shout towards the shatter. Right? Try to survive because the healing is coming in on you, keeping you sustained. Which changes the outcome of what the team is planning to do. The Genji is not overcommitting to try to get a kill. Most likely suiciding. The Zarya is bubbling the Ryan instead of giving it to the Genji, so right? And all of a sudden, it's much better comms. But this might sound a little bit similar to the Zarya bubble combination, and it exactly is, well, that. As we talked about, I think on the first, I think it was our first video, the part 1. If the Zarya says, you know, Ryan, I can bubble, then the Ryan knows that he can engage, and the team still gets the info, right? The team still, okay, our Ryan is most likely going to charge, or, right, when he's going to get bubbles, he's going to go a little bit aggro and so, stuff like that. But in the end, it also does help the team because we know it, but the Ryan is really the one getting the calm, and it's really only the Ryan that is, you know, concerned with the call, since it's a direct call to him. Now here comes the thing. It's easier to ask who can't than who can. If you can think that you have 6 players, and you know there's all kinds of shit, right? Everyone is selling their own stuff. Everyone is talking and calling, oh, look at me, and all that stuff. Then it becomes a lot of noise, and it becomes very difficult as well to ask for anything. If you can imagine that you want to dive this Zenyatta on left side, and everyone's like, okay, diving left side, right? I'm gonna dive left side, right? Normally you give a little bit of a second to go, or like, I'm pushing, right? If you have to wait for everyone to say yes, can you imagine how long time that's gonna take, right? You have to wait for everyone. It's like, hey, Genji, did you say yes? And he's like, yeah, of course. He said, yeah, go, right. All of a sudden, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seconds that's just like gone because you're waiting for everyone to say it. Therefore, it's easier to say no, or in this way, saying can't. Can't is incredibly nice. This means the Ryan saying, I'm low, and the Zenyatta says, I can't, right? The Zenyatta says, I'm getting dived, and your team says can't. That also means that, you know, okay, the Winston can't, the D.Va said can't, then the Genji might think, okay, I shouldn't burn my dash to try the same as Zenyatta, right? Because my Zenyatta is then dead. If my tanks can't get there, then there's nothing I can do against, like, 5 of their team members. The Zen is dead, the Zenyatta also knows that he is dead, So that point is, but it's more about, okay, I'll try to get as much trance, I'll try to deal as much damage, and I'm trying to stall my life for as much long as possible, even if it makes it difficult. Like, even if it means going in a position that would have been more difficult if my team could dive in to save me. So that is really one line in communication. The can't word is everyone just essentially doing a check. If you can't do it, then just say can't. If you can't do it, then you're not saying anything. But there's also what is reassuring calls. And that is what I like to call, if you've ever been in the military, or you trained with military, or whatever you do in your free time, I don't fucking know. Have you ever done a form for room clearing or anything form of partner, where you need to clear 2 sides and then push up? One guy will be hugging a corner, will be covering one area. You guys do your stuff, and then when you are about to move on, you go up to your guy, you put a hand on his shoulder, you squeeze, and then he goes, right? Because then that's you saying, without saying anything, because there can be a lot of noise or whatever, I'm ready to go, let's go. That is what I like to call a reassurance call in Overwatch. And essentially that is that the Ryan is saying, I'm pushing, like he's going very aggro, it's very clear. And this guy says, I'm with you, right? He doesn't need to say it, but it's to reassure that for the Reinhardt that, okay, I'm covering you, I got you, right? Or if they want to push, like you're capping the point, you're kind of pushing up, or you want to chase those kills, and the guy's like, I'm pushing them, and then the tank says, I'm with you, or one of the SWAT says, I'm with you, while someone else tells, I'm capping. Then I know, okay, our Zenyatta's capping, so he's not with us, but the Lucio's with me, he said it, my Winston is with me, he said it, okay, now I know that I have some backup at least with me, and I know this. They shouldn't need to. In theory, like, everyone should then yell, can't, right? I can't push, right? I'm doing this. But that is more for when there's giving something that is more crucial to it. So these calls are not 100% actually have to. It's the same if the Ryan said, I'm pushing, and the Mercy says, I'm pocketing you. Then all of a sudden he knows, okay, I can go extra aggro. On top of that, one of our Zarya might have said, I'm with you. This means that, okay, we got you. Like, we are actually really going aggro with you. We got your back. We're really just with you right now, right? So make sure that is going on. And at that point, most people don't need to say can't, right? Because if it's a standard push, if it's like, first you're attacking King's Row first point, and it's like, that is very standard for everyone to be with you. And there's no reason for anyone to not be with you. But so then reassurance call can just be nice to bring that confidence level up on the Reinhardt, right? That also means as soon as they engage, if something happens or they're starting, then the Reinhardt of course has to understand that you are most likely splitting off from that, and other people need healing. It's just very nice, and then you can even break that if you want to by saying, if all of a sudden this area was like, I'm with you, Ryan, and something else happens in the back line, then he's like, I'm pocketing, I'm peeling sand. Then all of a sudden the Ryan knows, okay, the Zarya did an individual call saying, I'm not with you anymore, essentially. I'm gonna go and guard the Sen. All of a sudden I lost my main tank, and now the Genji, since he says, I'm peeling sand, oh, I'm bubbling sand, I got you, Sen, right? And it's like, okay, the Zarya is now helping out the Zenyatta. The Kree does not need to help out the Zenyatta anymore, maybe. Maybe he doesn't, right? Maybe the Kree can then focus on helping out the main tank, right? And then they can continue off of that to make sure reassurance calls are also very similar. And all of these are one-liners. They're kind of like towards one player. I'm telling the player individually, I'm helping you. I'm going to do this with you. I can do this. But also we have these bigger ones where I'm saying, I want to do this. Essentially, I'm requesting you guys to do something else. And then you guys have to tell me if you can't follow on that. Like, if that is something that's impossible for you to do. And that includes also focus targets. If I say, Reinhardt, and no one can actually shoot them, like, can't, like, we're not with you. Like, especially if the Zenyatta sees that my entire team is on the right side somewhere else, and I'm fighting the Ryan on the left side, then you can say, then Zenyatta can say, can't, we are not with you. We are not with you. Like, there's no one up there, right? And I think that's very, 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 very important to just get down. Now, the next one will be about how to do this in quick play, and then we should be back on schedule with regular videos. I hope you guys like this here. I'm not getting a lot of views on it. That's why I'm a little bit, like, concerned, because I don't know if that's because people find this incredibly boring, because the people that do comment says they're great. I'm just a little bit confused about it. So I hope that you guys like this. Hope that this helps out some people. Besides that, guys, I hope you have a lovely, lovely gaming experience. As always, guys, my name has been Journal. Stay positive, guys, and keep the enemy in your crosshair.